every single water drop is counted, and there is nothing.
السلام عليكم جميعاً. الحضور الكريم، يسعدنا ويشرفنا وجودكم بيننا اليوم. My name is Dr. Amal Madi from Abu Dhabi Public Health Center, and I'll be moderating today's session. Okay, we are gathered here with the great members of panelists who will join me on the stage shortly. And we will talk about the narrative of environmental burden of disease on human health. In the evolving landscape of global health, a significant and often overlooked narrative emerges: the environmental burden of disease. It is a narrative of interdependence between environment and human health. A dilemma that underscores the critical role of our surroundings play in our well-being and our health. The environmental burden of disease is a multi-layered narrative that calls us to consider a complex web of factors influencing health outcomes, from air and water quality to the built environment. The ecosystem we inhabit have a profound impact on our health, whether it's physical or mental. The narrative this session embarks upon today paints a vivid portrait of the quest to navigate these dynamic challenges. Not taking more of your time, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome me on the stage our panelists of today, Her Excellency Dr. Farida Al-Hosani, Executive Director, Infectious Disease Sector, Abu Dhabi Public Health Center. Next, I am calling on the stage His Excellency Mr. Ahmed Baharoun, Executive Director, Environmental Information Science and Outreach Management, Environmental Agency, Abu Dhabi. I would also like to call on the stage Professor George Thorsten, Professor of Medicine and Population Health, Division of Environmental Medicine in New York School of Medicine. A warm welcome to all of you, and thank you for being a part of today's session. And not taking much of your time, ladies and gentlemen, the first question goes to you, Your Excellency. Dr. Farida, you have been working a lot on the intersection between environment and health. So what are the major climate contributor to environmental burden of disease in the UAE?
First, I would like to thank all the attendees for making the time to be here today. This is a special day during COP28 where the focus goes on health and the intersection between environment and health. I believe that this centering health in the mid of the climate action will help us to provide a strong reason for acting immediately to reach and mitigate the risk of climate change. With regards to the estimated burden of disease, we believe that there are many factors that are existing today that are impacting our health in the environment. According to a study that was established in UAE in 2013, at that time in 2013, number of deaths associated with environmental factors were around 600 deaths in 1 year in UAE. And we are talking about 10 years back. I believe that with the increasing climate change and increasing hot temperature, we believe that there will be a huge impact in the number of deaths and the number of hospital visits. There are hundreds of thousands hospital visits that are directly attributed to, can be prevented and attributed to environmental risk factors. Given that there are many possible scenarios of carbonization, we believe that it will even worsen the situation if we don't act fast. For UAE, for example, heat stress is one of the major factors that affecting and causing cardiovascular diseases and related to heart attacks. And this is one of the direct causes of death. In addition to that, we have the dust, the particulate material that are existing in the environment is also affecting human health, causing chronic respiratory conditions, allergies, chronic diseases. That is associated with hospital visit, associated with also death, direct death related to environmental factors. In addition to that, we have the pollutants. There are multiple pollutants that also could attribute to chronic conditions in humans. We believe that also the climate change, the global warming that is happening, going to impact the vector-borne diseases. And there is estimation that even, we are living it now, because we see that, for example, mosquitoes, ticks, they are increasing and they are presenting in countries where it was not existing before. We see increased burden of dengue fever and malaria that was not presented before in the previous years. So all of those factors are really a direct impact of the current global warming that we are all facing.
And what adds to the problem, Dr. Farida, that the impact of climate change knows no border. My next question is to you, Your Excellency. The study that Dr. Farida just mentioned, I believe that you were, the Environmental Agency Abu Dhabi was one of the main stakeholders contributing to the success of that study. I would like to ask you, what has been the role of the Environmental Agency Abu Dhabi in the development of the environmental burden of disease model for Abu Dhabi?
Thank you. First of all, I would like to congratulate our nation, our president of the our National Day yesterday. Again, during COP28, it's been a lot of proud moments for us here in the UAE. I would like to echo as well what Dr. Farida just mentioned. In 2008, the Environment Agency Abu Dhabi initiated the model of environmental burden of disease, and then DOH, along with DOH, which then they took it along, and then they've updated and added a lot to it. Our role was to provide the data. The Environment Agency Abu Dhabi has air quality data from 20 stations across the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, and we also have 2 mobile stations to get as much coverage. These data are obtained mainly through our monitoring program, through remote sensing, field surveys, to grasp the all the and geospatial data as well, so we can cover a lot of the information that we can get when it comes to air quality. And also our data goes along from 1996, so it's a wealth of information that we have built through this. Through this data helps identify, assessing a lot of the environmental risk factors that we have right now, like air and water pollutions, also climate change impact on the individuals and the populations in the UAE. So our role is, without this information, you guys cannot build this, your outcome and study. So we are very, it's all a team effort for everybody to work together.
That's very true. In fact, the wealth of the data is what is complementing the technology. Now we are able to create the models for the future coming years, incorporating current and anticipating new data. My next question is also to you, Your Excellency. Why it is crucial that we have to invest in research such as the environmental burden of disease?
So the research, it's doing the connecting part from the environmental sector till the health sector. In the past, there was a lot of gaps in how to put things together. So the research puts them together, like, for example, information about mortality rate, hospital admissions. So these informations are collected now and helps the medical field and sector to put things together and link the environmental factors, risk factors, into the diseases that we have right now. So without that information, there will be, everyone is working on silo and not putting the linkages together. So our role was, the research is important because it gives a very proactive and well-informed decisions in how to make these studies and these outcomes are very, very well connected and very well put together in terms of what is the outcomes that can come out of it.
Very well said, Your Excellency. In fact, you know, the merger of data from different sectors really produces very beautiful babies, like the environmental burden of disease. My next question is to you, Dr. Farida. How do you think the technology and innovation can support in understanding the burden of disease and the environmental factors that add to it?
So first, I would like to thank our colleagues from the Environmental Agency for their continuous support and contribution. And we really believe that the combination of environmental health data that is GIS enabled with the precise information that is collected across the years is very important contributor to understanding what's going on in terms of health outcome. We believe that currently there is a well-established evidence that there is preventable attributed risk that could be, we can prevent certain diseases due to environmental factors. Using the health data, that is also, we understand that there is a big data available and existing in Abu Dhabi as a result of the collaboration between public and private sector. We do have a wealth of data at this stage in Abu Dhabi. Combining the health data with the environmental data is really a very strong tool to have a better understanding of the burden of disease in Abu Dhabi and in UAE. Not only to that, but the current technologies and advanced analytics is really helpful to forecast what could be the different scenarios that could happen in the future using the different climate change scenarios suggested or presented by the World Bank. So using those tools and those big data sources together, merging that, we can really understand precisely what could happen in the future in terms of the burden of cardiovascular diseases, the burden of respiratory diseases, whether it is related to the death or also attributed visits to the hospitals. So I think that this is one of the models that can be replicated across the world. And the utilization of this tool, the outcomes of this tool can help to shed the light on the importance of mitigating the risk of climate change.
In fact, Doctor, I think the projection, the future projection is not only local, it could be even global as, and goes beyond environment and health, goes to even economy, having UAE hosting almost 200 nationality. Understanding the burden of disease that could be across the world will also help the UAE develop a resilient healthcare system, a system that is able to host whatever risk challenges that come across from all over the world. My next question is to you, Professor George. The adverse of health effects of climate are very well known. Thank you, Your Excellencies. However, what about however, what are the benefits of addressing these risk factors even before it happens?
Yes, there are many, but let me just first say, this weekend on my Facebook page popped up that 11 years ago, I was here, it was in Abu Dhabi on the National Day. That was my first day to visit here. And here I am again on your National Day again, and just want to say happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
I also come from a young nation, and we have a lot of things to work out, but we also have vibrancy and initiative. And I think that's what this session is about, the initiatives that can be done by young countries with new thinking. Now, to your question. Well, yes, there are many, and I also want to say, it's really great to see the health agency with the environment agency working together. I have done studies around the world in Brazil and Bangladesh and places, and the biggest challenge I have as a researcher is to get the data to do the analyses. In one case, one of my students was from Bangladesh, and his wife was back home, and she went to the hospitals and transcribed all the data for him. And we got permissions, and then she did all the work and transcribed it, and he was able to get it. That's a good wife. Anyway, so there's ways, but if you have the technology, and as you were saying before, that this could be applied around the world, that would be a big aid to get those data. Now, as to the health, there are lots of things that we can do to improve health that also help the climate problem. I mean, the one that I work in is air pollution. And if we get healthy air, that also promotes a healthier planet. So, and I've done studies, and there have been other studies showing analyses where when a pollution source was removed, then the community around it got healthier. And not just right away, but also on in time. That's one example. Another is diet, that eating more plant-based, getting more plant-based protein. It's better for your cardiovascular system, and, by the way, might help save the planet. So there's lots of things, if we work towards healthier lives, that it also helps the planet. It's been said that climate change is the greatest health challenge that we have in the 21st century, but it's also, if we do it right, the greatest health opportunity in this century.
Well, Professor George, might seem easy said, difficult done. You are adding a new challenge now. Can't imagine a diet without beef in it.
Well, I can't say I don't eat meat, but I really have cut way back. And, maybe once a week, rather than every day. And some faiths would have where they would eat only, take one day of no meat, right? So I would just sort of flip that and say.
I know. I was just joking. I know, Professor George, that
I love meat, though, but I try not to eat it. Yeah.
I know, Dr. George, you have been promoting for mitigation steps for a while. I know that even your home is compulsion-free. So can you just also share with us some examples of mitigation examples?
Well, yes, I was saying, changing your diet. I kind of jumped ahead there, but I really think that energy-producing countries like ours, the United States is a major producer of energy in the world, as is the UAE. We have the ability to come up with new technologies and that will be more compatible with our climate, our God-given this Eden that we live in, and to maintain it at the same time. And, as I say, when I've talked to the Congress in the United States, and once you make that technology, you can sell it to the world, So it's good business as well, I think, that getting these new technologies that will give us cleaner air, as you're saying, cleaner water, healthier. So, and I also think that a lot more agreement can be gotten by talking about health. I think it's a good shared interest. When you talk to people and you say you want to improve health, they say, that's a good idea, I agree with that. But when you start talking about the climate, it's more controversial. And if you look at it, okay, let's say you take an action that reduces your carbon footprint. Well, then those benefits, it's good, I do that a lot, but your benefits are divided by 8 billion people. So you get 1/8 billionth of the benefits. Whereas if you do something that's good for your health, that's also good, you get 100% of that benefit yourself. And at the same time, you're helping to avoid climate change. So I think, health is an effective pathway to address climate change and something we can all agree on.
Thank you very much. That really makes a very nice concluding remark. Any concluding remark from your side, Your Excellency?
There you go.
In conclusion, I would like to say that the Environment Agency Abu Dhabi always will help, not just the health sector, but all other sectors to ensure, because the environment is very cross-cutting all the sectors. And we've just launched a great collaboration with Khalifa University on the impact of pollutants on public health. And this is part of the Abu Dhabi Research Network that we've just launched this year. Also, we're going to continue our support to this cause from marine water quality, air quality, whatever that concerns the public health. We will show the continuous, rigorous research and proactive information that we can provide through the Environment Agency Abu Dhabi.
Your Excellency.
From the Abu Dhabi Center of Public Health perspective, we are committed to improve the population health. We are looking forward to drive change to wellness, well-being, and longevity of our population. And to do that, we cannot work in isolation. We have to work together with different sectors. We need innovation. We can't work the way we used to work in the previous years. There is a lot of room for improvement using technology, using innovation, and using AI to address our challenges of today and to plan for a healthier future for the future generation, for our children. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, Professor. It was a very intellectually provoking discussion. Thank you very much. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our panelists. Ladies and gentlemen, that was our time. And I was your host for the day, Dr. Amal Madi. Thank you very much. And have a very safe and sustainable rest of the day.
Talent is global, but opportunity isn't. We live on planet Ocean. It's blue blood that's pumping through this planet's